Coach, you've had the opportunity to see the maturation of this current group of seniors who are part of the Army football program as both cadets and players. From where you sit as a head coach, can you provide us with what the ring ceremony and this weekend means to you personally?
Well, it really, I think, is it's just it's kind of an opportunity to look forward to what's coming. I don't know that I look at the ring ceremony and them receiving their rings that signify graduating from the United States Military Academy, or are symbolic of that achievement, as being as significant now as it will be in May when they toss their hat in the air. That's when the ring really becomes important. It's nice that they have a ring, and I guess it's nice that they do a big ceremony, but I guess graduation is the pinnacle moment. So it's I think here they like to celebrate all of the little moments along the way, and then kind of the countdown to the big celebration. We have a 500th night, and we have a 100th night, and we have a ring ceremony, and all these things that look forward to the graduation. And frankly, the ring ceremony I'm most interested in is the one at the end of December, January. If we can manage to win enough games and go to a bowl game and win the bowl game and hopefully beat our rivals and win the Commander-in-Chief's trophy, that's a fun ring ceremony. And what's fun about that is that that's a ring that we all earn together. A graduation from West Point is certainly a tremendous achievement and a personal milestone for them, but it's a personal achievement. They get help along the way, and I think our guys particularly support each other along the way and help each other get to graduation. But I just see it as an opportunity for them to really get together and look forward to the day of graduation with their other classmates that they've spent the past 3 years here with, and are going to finish up this year with. So I don't know. That's probably my nice way of saying, let's get on to graduation. That's the day we really ought to be looking forward to.
I completely understand. And so from a football standpoint, how much do you now start looking on and preparing for Georgia State, from a scheme standpoint, especially?
We really have been entirely focused on them for the last week. So we got through the preseason camp, and for that first week, really, the second week, I should say, first week of school, continuing to install defense, offense, special teams. And so for the last week, we've really just had an opportunity to dive into our game plan and getting prepared for them. And we'll do that this week coming up too. So today was an indication that we still got a lot to do and a lot to work on, and areas we need to improve to be ready.
Great. And my follow-up and final question is, coming into training camp and throughout the summer, you talked about finding the right mix relative to the offensive line. What is your current assessment of the O-line, and do you in fact have a starting five right now?
I think that starting five is coming together, finding the depth that we know we're going to need throughout the year. We've not gone a season here since I've been here that we've played with the same offensive line every week. It's just it's a physical game, and in our offense, that's a physical position that takes a lot of hits and dishes out a lot of hits, and they're on the ground a lot more than a traditional offense. So just, I guess, historically, we know that we're going to need more guys than the starting five. So I think that group has really done a good job. They're well coached and they work really hard. There's some veteran players there that have had plenty of snaps, enough that they should be prepared and ready to be a starter if they haven't been a regular starter. So Connor Bishop being the center, and and working out from there. The guards, we've really worked 3 guys there. Noah Knapp, who's probably the backup center as well if something were to happen. Dean Powell, Zach Ward, and then at tackle, Booby Law, Connor Finucane, and then Cam Holloway, who's a senior who's been around and played a good bit for us. And that kind of rounds out the depth. There are guys that are practicing a lot, and I think just getting better as we go along. There's Jackson Flipwitz playing center as well, and he's done some good things. He's a really tough kid. Was a all state or state finalist wrestler in Georgia. So just the toughness and the all the things that the balance and that come with being a wrestler. I like finding guys like that. We moved Simon Dellinger, who's a tight end, to work some tackle, just to have some more depth there. He's athletic, really long. He's a lot like Ben Cook. Ben's a junior. He was a tight end to start off with. He's grown into a tackle. So working those guys to try to provide some more depth for us. So that's kind of how it shakes out right now up front.
Thanks, Coach.
Any others?
Hey, Coach. We talked a lot about the quarterback competition this preseason. Was there any competition out there today that you were watching closely that might be decided, like this scrimmage, or you haven't decided on a starter yet at a certain position?
No, I mean, I think the two seniors at the top are, I should say, not a senior. Tyre's in his junior year. He's going to have one more. So Tyre and Christian Anderson, they're probably at the top right now, battling it out. Jamel is a very close third in there. And then I've been really pleased with Jabari Laws, and I think Jabari Laws is going to be able to help our football team. And he probably isn't confidence-wise completely back with just turning it loose altogether. But man, has he improved just in the 3 weeks we've been practicing, and it's great to see him back out there. So we've got a lot of confidence in him, his leadership, his ability. And so I think Jabari could be up there in the top 1, 2, 3, at any time. So I think just as we go through this week, it'll clarify itself and what we kind of need to be doing in terms of a game plan. But I've got confidence in all those guys, and I've got confidence in Cade Ballard and Maurice Ballon. If we had to play the season with either one of those guys, I think we'd be fine. They can operate the offense. They're confident. Our players are confident in them. They're very smart. They take care of the ball. They're good quarterbacks, and we just have the good fortune right now that we've got a good mix of guys that we feel pretty good about. So we'll see.
And Coach, just asking maybe a little bit about Georgia State. Looks like they're coming off a win over Western Kentucky in their bowl game last year, and they have a sophomore quarterback, Cornelius Brown, who had a terrific year passing the ball, ran a little bit too, and a big running back, Dustin Coates. What do you see at the top of your highlights of looking at Georgia State?
I'll mention those two guys. I mean, they're both really good players, but it's more than just those two. I think they do a really good job on offense of distributing the ball to different skill players. They are very skilled, fast, and athletic. They did a nice job running the football. I'm always respectful of a team that runs the ball effectively. Defensively, they are a lot like the group I just mentioned on offense, fast and athletic. They're not a big, huge football team up front. Very quick, very athletic, and they've done a really nice job. The defensive coordinator and our defensive coordinator are very close, so very similar in philosophy, and so he's defended the option in the past and does a really nice job with it. And it's going to create some real challenges for us offensively. So, I think they're a well-coached football team, and it's just impressive what they've done there with that program as a whole since they started. It's a young program still in college football, but as you said, they're already making bowl games and winning bowl games, and so doing a really nice job.
We'll do the last few for Coach.
Hey, go ahead.
Jeff, can you talk specifics of how you ran the scrimmage today? What did you see? Were there any highlights in your opinion?
I try to run it just like a game. We had officials and a game clock. There were times where I just created a scenario so that we could look at possible situations that may come up in a game. Certainly, I wouldn't expect everything that we worked on today to come up in one football game, but we had a chance to, after we practiced these things and met on them, put our guys out there and put them in those situations. So I thought that was positive. There were some good plays on both sides. We didn't tackle and take people to the ground today, and I wanted to do that just to keep us healthy. We do enough of that in practice with our defense tackling our scouts, our offense being able to block below the waist. We still blocked below the waist and had live blocks with our offense, but didn't go to the ground. So it's a little hard to tell just who's breaking tackles and who's making open field tackles. So that was part of I guess the plan going into the day, was be able to get into these different situations, but not put ourselves in jeopardy of getting injured. But there's some good plays. There was a great play on special teams. Zach Harding punted a ball down, going toward the goal line. We were able to catch it in the air and down the ball. I mean, that's, that sounds like a little thing, and people don't get excited about it when they're up in the stands, but it's a big play. And we got into just about every special team scenario possible, which was good for us. Hit a long field goal. It was a nice kick by Cole Talley. I believe it was Talley or Moretsky hit that long one. We had about 40 some yards. But anyway, I'll watch the film. It wasn't a scrimmage that I was really concerned about how we played grade wise in terms of how guys performed and all that. I wanted to make sure our guys blocked the right guy, played the right gap, covered the right man, and did all those things from a mental standpoint, that we played hard and that we executed the fundamentals very well. So hopefully we'll see that coming out on the film.
Well, referring to like Sal's question earlier about the quarterbacks, were there a couple battles for spots that you identified ahead of time? And, do you think you made some decisions?
Oh, I'm not going to make any decisions walking off the practice field, but certainly the quarterback position is one where I think there's a lot of competition. The B-back is a position where there's competition. At receiver, we're still trying to figure out who, will take the first play on each side, but we're probably going to run plays with those guys. So whoever didn't play the first play, there's going to be somebody play the second one. So I don't know that that's a big deal other than the guy that gets to start. Up front, I think really sorting out what the depth's going to look like. Tight end position, Chris Cameron and Josh Lingenfelter. I think those guys are really battling out for who the number one tight end is. There'll be times where we're not playing a tight end at all, and sometimes we'll play two. So I think both of them still play a good bit. And then defensively, it'll be interesting to just see what happens with Spencer Jones coming back. He's been injured. He did practice today, but to see how his health comes along, and if he's not healthy, who's going to be the will linebacker that lines up out there with Eric Smith. And same scenario up front, whether it's the defensive line or the two outside linebackers, just sorting all that out. And we've had some guys nicked up and not been able to practice, and to be able to see if they come back, and if they don't, who's going to be the guy that'll take their place.
All right, one last one for Coach.
Coach, you
Coach-
talked about, sorry, Ken.
Go ahead.
You've talked about several areas that you're still trying to decide on, but what is the strength of this football team? What do you think that that's going to be?
I hope it'll be our toughness. That's been the strength of the good teams that I've been a part of here. Mental toughness. And if we can get this team to share that same strength, then I think we'll be a competitive team.